What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Checked In Podcast. If you haven't already, stop what you're doing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell because that'll let you guys know every time we upload. But with that being said, let's get right into today's video. So today we have Rico.
Here we go. We're back at it again, man. Episode 2.
Welcome back, Bob.
Happy to be here, bro.
So just to start it off really quick, how you been, obviously?
I've been good, man. I've been blessed,
Good.
Going through the day-to-day life and hustling every day.
Love that, bro. Because last time you were here was last year.
Man, it's been quite some
a while.
time. Before
and the setup was different when you got here last time. We were on that side. We had a whole fucking makeshift wall. Now we got a real wall.
Yeah,
so you know,
man. Every time I come, like I said, we're constantly improving, we're constantly growing, and I love to see the progression, man.
That's right, bro. That's
every time I come back.
That's what I'm talking about. Nah, but wait. You're gonna come to the party though, right?
Of course, I'll be.
That's
at the party,
right.
man.
We're having an anniversary party, so I'm just want to, I want to put him on camera.
There you go.
So
you
if he doesn't, it's already on there. It's on fucking record. I just wanted to confirm it. You feel me? No lagging.
No lagging. Locked in.
I wanted to ask you a question. Last time I was on your profile, I noticed that you were getting really, I guess you could say you've always been into fitness and you've always been into the entrepreneur aspect of things. But I noticed that you started a run club.
I did, man.
So talk to me about the run club, bro. Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you. The last 2 months myself, I've been running to the drive-through a little bit more than I should have. But
you
know,
man, as long as you're in that drive-through and you're in and out, I think you're good, bro.
Believe me, I'm in and out for sure. In and out. Shout out to you, your boy right here, real quick. I want to sponsor. You know what I'm saying? I've been there the past couple weeks.
4x4s on deck every day after the workout.
Feel me?
That's it, man.
That's just me. That's me all day. I've been through the drive-through these past couple. So when I seen that run club and I seen you going crazy on the fitness, I just grabbed my little tummy and I was like, damn.
I need to run.
I think I need to run.
There you go.
Yeah. This time not to the drive-through, but this time around it,
There you go. I mean, it'd be a great time to get you joined in the community, man. I started with some friends sometime last year, shortly after the podcast, man. Started just running a little bit by my own, and then I started hanging out with friends, and then they started running. I was like, man, this is like a thing. It's like a trend. Everything's running. I always ran, playing sports, being an athlete and stuff throughout high school, but like never really committed myself to like, hey, I'm going to wake up and run 5 miles today. I'm going to run 10 miles today, and so forth. So kind of just networking, getting around friends that are moving and being active. Sure enough, I kind of got, pushed into it. And before I knew it, I was running almost every day, 2 to 3 miles, 4 to 5 miles. And then I was just trying to push and see what I could do until I ran my first 10 miles. And then from there, it kind of became an addiction, getting that runner's high, getting that feeling. You just feel so free. One day I just woke up and I was, you know what, today I'm gonna run 26 miles.
You're fucking crazy,
dude. I don't know what I had for breakfast that day, despite the fact that I probably didn't even have breakfast that day. But I woke up, ran 26 miles, and then from there I kind of got into it. A friend started a run club, a clothing brand. Helped him support it. We did some photo shoots on the track. Before we knew it, it was kind of becoming something that everyone on TikTok, everyone on social media was slowly, kind of getting insight to, like, whoa, running is cool, running is fun. And before we knew it, like, it was started with just the friends, friends getting together, running 5, 6, 7 of us. Before we knew it, people were like, can we join? Can we run with you? And so from there, another friend branched out, started a little more of a run club. And from there, it kind of just expanded into this whole community thing with all of us kind of putting our efforts together and sharing and reposting and kind of creating something for the community to get together with. And I mean, sure enough, bro, it's been definitely working out and making a positive impact in the community.
I fucking love that. What area are you guys based out of right now?
Right now we're based out of Riverside, but we're expanding and looking to host a little bit more beach workouts, runs on the beach followed by workouts in the sand, things like that, furthering into cold plunges, all of us jumping in the water together, really just creating a movement where everyone can feel comfortable. Because I mean, starting a healthy lifestyle is hard, man.
It really is,
especially doing it by yourself. So when you look over and you see someone that's struggling just as much as you are to push themselves, it kind of gives you that accountability to keep going, and that mental thought, that mental toughness, like, I can do this. I can keep pushing. And I feel like that's what a lot of people lack when they kind of first get started, Running is tough.
It really is, bro. I think the main thing too is that, let's be real, the one thing that gets in the way a lot of the times is life, but that can't always be the excuse. You feel me? I know that's everyone's excuse, including mine, bro. I've been grinding a little bit, but I'm just like, you know what? It's no excuse. If I got 30 minutes to sit on the phone, I got 30 minutes to actually go out and do something, even if it's an at-home workout. But the one thing that I was going to tell you, bro, is that I noticed, now we don't have to get too crazy into the talk, but I did notice you were popping on TikTok for a little bit.
Man, I was.
Bro,
I kind of just
for all the wrong reasons, though, bro.
All the wrong reasons.
All the wrong
right
reasons.
Right?
I'm going to say right now. We're not going to go too crazy into the details, but it's not because he did anything bad. My boy just looked good out there. That's all I got to say, all right?
Being natural,
Being natural, looking saucy out there.
Sometimes you got to show it,
But you know what, though, bro? It helped, though. because not only that, but I feel like it brought you, not just you a lot of attention, but also to the run club a lot of attention too.
I mean, really, honestly, we all just go out there, we try our best to run and push everyone else to run, and do their best, you know. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, the end goal is we all want to look good, you know. We all want to feel good in our skin. We want to be comfortable. We want to be confident. So being out there and running with the community is really something I enjoy so much, because you don't have to be fit to run. You don't have to have a six-pack. You don't have to be extremely built. You just have to have the mental capability and the physical strength to do it, you know? Yeah. And I feel like sometimes there's a big, I don't know what you want to call it, image of like athletes and people that run and what it looks like and what you have to run, what you have to look like when you're running. Right. And reality, bro, it's just a big misconception. You know?
I think it's an intimidating factor for sure for a lot of people, especially for someone that hasn't worked out in such a while. Yeah. Trust me, bro. Like for me, if I see, for example, if I see you running, and then I'm like, bro, I'm gonna run over here. You know, I'm just gonna pull up over here real quick. I don't want to. Nah, I'm good, because obviously I'm gonna look completely different than you. You gonna look majestic. I'm gonna look like I'm completely dying. Someone's gonna be like, bro, do you want me to call 911? I'm gonna be like, no, I'm good. I'm just trying out here.
Yeah. And then the same thing is so amazing to see people that look like, you know, your typical day-to-day person, and they're out there running, moving with the community, and you'd be surprised they keep up with you.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know, they don't even have the aesthetic build. They're just physically fit, in shape, healthy, and you know, you don't have to have a lot of muscle to be a great athlete. You don't have to have a lot of muscle to move your body, you know?
Brother, one thing that, as we're on that topic, it kind of reminds me of, for example, like the NFL Combine, whenever you see the big linemen now, dude, you see how fast they are?
Dude, those guys move.
I seen that shit, and I was like, bro, I'm getting gapped by a lineman for sure. If we doing a 40-yard dash, I'm not even going to beat them, bro. Straight up lineman, they're going to take me out. So that's why when it goes to that aspect of like, he even looks like an average Joe looking, and he keeps up and does that stuff. Sure. That's the thing, dude. Like, appearances sometimes are completely wrong, bro. You're judging a book by its cover, and sometimes that book just comes and smacks you back, says, you thought, homie, you should have read the back.
You'd be surprised what people were capable of, man. Like today, I had an older woman out there. She was 47 years old. She was running with her son.
Bro, is she older, or is that like good age?
I mean,
because someone out there going to be 47 going to be like, what you mean
right,
older,
you're right.
bro?
I would say a good prime age. Well, regardless, you can see it was her first time ever running.
Life alert.
In the past 20 years, man. And so I seen her. She was in the back of the crowd. I dropped back for her, slowed down, you know, sped up with them a little bit, called pace. Just making small talk. She's like, yeah, I seen you guys in the run club. My son told me about it. He runs track. He wanted to come out and join you guys. She decided to join us too, you know. So just that simple impact and knowing that we can help motivate someone to kind of get going and make it easier for them to do it with the community definitely has been fun, man. So like seeing people, you know, of any age go out there and run and move their body is truly a blessing, man.
I love that, bro. I love that, especially for someone that's obviously getting older, right? The hardest part is trying to keep up with the group
and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and taking care of yourself. Sometimes too, like I said, I understand life gets in the way. Sometimes we start going through the motions of getting used to the quick food, and then realizing like, damn, I don't want to cook because it takes me like an hour and a half, and then I'm hungry right now. I understand that. I get that as someone that's guilty of it right now in that motion. I completely understand. So every time you pull up, bro, I'm like, fuck.
Accountability.
I'm like, fuck, my accountability starting to come back right now. And I'm like, God, bro. I'm like, God, where my legs go, bro? I used to have something. Now they're just, I'm looking like a corn dog right now, bro. All skinny on the bottom, fucking thick up top. You feel me?
It gets better, man.
I hope it gets better. I need to get better because, fuck.
Here we go.
So I know you were telling me about the run club and you were telling me to pull up and do all that stuff. I'm bringing Martin with me.
Yeah, bring him, man.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Martin
Everyone's welcome, okay? So everyone's welcome to the run club.
I guess. I mean, I can't even say no.
If you guys could see Martin's face, Martin went, really?
No, I mean, I could run. I run here and there. But the thing is, I run on treadmill, and I know running on treadmill is different from running outside.
Yeah, you got to get outside and move your body.
You got to dodge cars outside.
I could do like 5 miles on the treadmill easily. Yeah. But I could. It's different. Like again, because it's concrete. It's
definitely
it's harder.
The impact on your feet and everything.
So yeah, I could do 5 miles easy on the treadmill. But on street, maybe by 2.5, I'll probably be like, yeah, I need it.
Yeah, well, we look forward to having you out there, man. With that being said, everyone is welcome to the Run Club. So if you're seeing this video now, bring your mom, your dad, your brother, your cats, your dogs, anyone that can run, walk, move their body. Feel free to come out and join the community anytime. Enzo will be posting the link.
Everything will be down in the description below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. His personal Instagram, his TikTok, all the stuff that I'm gonna either have him send me or I can get. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down below. So everything will be there for whatever purposes that you want to go ahead and check them out for. All right.
Cool.
But I was gonna ask you, as far as for the training, how's the training been going? I know last time we talked about it and we were discussing the training. So is it still keeping up with that?
Yeah, definitely, man. So I relocated. I went from LA to Grand Terrace. I'm currently training out of Grand Terrace, Riverside area. The transition's been, quite a transition. Going from the LA scenery and the fast life, slowing down to, people that are working their typical 9-to-5 jobs. They're kind of moved down to the outskirts of the cities, just looking to maintain their health and, price ranges and clientele, and everything changes and varies in different locations, So you have to adjust to those areas, create prices that work for the budgets and the people that live in, those areas that can be manageable for them to train with you and work with you. So it's been going good, like anything, the transition starting out is always rough, but as long as you're disciplined and you have the mentality, ambition to keep going and pushing yourself, I can definitely say it pays it forth. So I've been doing well, man, training at a new gym. I like it a lot. It's, it's private. I like that, you can have that one-on-one time with your clientele, and you can have accessibility to machines and everything like that, because training one-on-one with someone that's just getting started is really important. And, it kind of plays a role in how they learn how to move their body, showing them the basics and things like that. So training has been going good, man. It's been a blessing. I've been enjoying helping people change their lives, from making bad habits to good ones, and breaking bad habits and creating good ones. It's kind of just it's like a snowball effect. You kind of help one person, and the one person's like, hey man, I think you look great, what you've been doing, and it's like, oh, I've got a trainer, and then it kind of creates a snowball effect and how you create clientele and how you start to build yourself up. So training has been fun, man. It's been quite a transition from LA to Grand Terrace in the Inland Empire, but I love it, and I love the community where I'm at.
I was gonna ask you too, how has the transition been as far as for, obviously when you come out to LA, there's a bigger population out here in LA compared to over there. Obviously, like you said, the fast pace is slow pace, but how has that been as far as for clientele? Was it difficult for you to find clients, or was it kind of easier since you're more active and you're currently at a lot of gyms? Yeah. Obviously, social media has a big play into it, but moving from LA to over there, how's that transition been as far as for like the clientele? Has it been a little tough? Or?
Yeah, I could say the first half of the year, man, just adapting and getting used to where I was and the location and everything. It kind of took a toll on me the first couple months, getting the exposure, really getting to meet people in a whole new area, because one person can connect you to
a lot of people,
quite some people. It's all about networking and who you know. So I say it's just finding those right clients that refer you and support you and kind of share you as you're going, because all that exposure kind of helps create where you are in your location. So meanwhile, like most of the time, me transitioning to the Inland Empire, like the first half of the year, a lot of people were like, hey, I'm at this gym, I came, you're not here no more, like, what's up, I want to train with you. And like everything's booming on this side of town, but I'm on the other side of town. So I'm offering like online programs and things like that for people that are still interested. Most people want that in-person feel, that one-on-one connection. And I understand it, because online to in person is completely different.
For sure.
And now you have accessibility to me, and you're training and correcting posture and form and things like that.
I was going to tell you that's the one thing that I noticed that from online is the aspect of going into the gym and actually doing the form and all that.
Definitely.
Sometimes as a person that has been a client, sometimes they'll tell you, oh, I need you to do X amount or whatever. You're looking it up online and you're like, bro, I've never how do I know if I'm doing it right?
What exercise is it? Like you just read the name and you're like, I don't even know what this is.
You're like, all right, like I think I can do it. Yeah. What's it called? Like what are they called? Bulgarian splits?
Bulgarian
splits. Is that what it is? That's the one where you put your leg on the bench and then you're gonna
okay, with a dumbbell.
Bruh. When I first read that, I was like, what, you want me to fucking drop it low or what? Fucking, I was like, I'm gonna do this for sure. I was like, grab some weights, fucking pop up. I was like, oh, hell no. But obviously I looked it up on YouTube and, learned all that stuff.
You get an idea for the exercise.
Yeah. You get an idea for it. I think, and me personally, if you can do the in person, cool. If you're knowledgeable, obviously, or, I mean, you could just look it up. But sometimes too, being a little bit knowledgeable too, that helps out. Being
able to follow a routine, program, and follow it to the T, from meals to training guides. I can say it definitely goes a long way. Following instructions, let alone be.
Let me ask you a question. For the process, when you transition that process, and obviously it was a little bit slow, do you have any like points, any tips, anything you can give anybody out there that's maybe going through that same process of like transitioning to something new? As far as like, do you have any tips for them, or even what was your mentality like on that aspect?
Yeah, definitely, man. I could say sometimes it gets discouraging, because when things are moving and things are rolling already, and you're kind of working and you go from producing a certain amount of money or a certain amount of income, that income and those bills stay at that range. So you have to constantly manage those numbers to be able to produce and and live and slowly make profits off how you're doing, you know. So I went through some ups and downs, you know. I went through some setbacks, and I was like, man, this is kind of getting heavy. More's coming out than more's going in. Like I need to, you know, produce. Sometimes I get discouraged. I went through my phases, man. I can't lie. I went through in about a month or two of depression, kind of sinking down and getting lost for where I was, not producing and not making the income I was liking to make, and falling behind on things like everyone does, you know. Especially making that transition and making a change in your life, because we're so used to staying stagnant. We like to stay comfortable. And if this job is feeding us 9 to 5 and we can take that check, we'll take it. But before you know, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to get to this later. And then 1 year goes by and you're taking that consistent check. And then another year goes by and you're taking that consistent check. And on top of that, it's like you're putting aside what you truly want to do, whether you have a passion or any type of idea or something you want to create, let alone even a dream to follow. You know, a lot of things can slowly dimmer that light for it if you're not putting the energy you need to in it. And you can dream all day long, of course, but I feel like putting the work into it is really the big part of all of it, because even on my low days, even on my bad days I didn't want to run, days I didn't want to train, days I was stressed or overwhelmed, and I just felt like this is not going to help me right now. Getting that hour workout, getting that 2-hour workout kind of gave me that mental clarity of like, look, this is how I need to sit down. This is how I need to execute. I need to stay focused. I can't lose sight of tasks. I can't lose sight of this. I can't keep putting things behind because I'm falling behind. I need to progress, get it out the way, take care of it now, continue forward.
Accountability, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you got to do.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. As simple as that. I know for a fact a lot of people lack that accountability. Sometimes we like to blame other people's, other situations.
Of course, definitely.
But as long as we acknowledge, hey, you know what, we are at fault, and we take those baby steps, that's going to get you in the right direction 100%. Another thing that I was going to tell you was when you had mentioned the stagnation as far as for people, and when you get that steady income, it's that comfort zone that a lot of people getting. And I believe that is what a lot of people are looking for, at least nowadays, because they want something that's just
they
comfortable.
can just live. They just want to live. It. And really with the prices of California, it's like, how could anyone not?
Bruh,
because I'd rather live than struggle.
Yeah.
And even if you're living and you're struggling, at least you're kind of skipping by, you know? Because, I mean, once you fall behind, it's either forward or back. And both ways, it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Whether you're going forward or back. So you have to find that groove, even when you're high, even when you're low, to kind of just stay consistent. And even speaking of accountability, like the type of accountability I give, there were days where I was like, fuck, somebody tell me something. I need this right now. You know, and then there's people that will like swipe up on IG like, hey man, I haven't seen you post in like 3 days. You all right? And I'm like, fuck, like I was going to go for a run today, but I seen you haven't ran. I'm like, man, I don't want to run. Like, you don't know what I'm going through. Like, all right, let's go run. And then I run, and that kind of creates that wave, and it gives me that energy. I feed off their energy, like the people looking forward to, you know, anything that involves me. It kind of gives me something to look forward to. Like, okay, I'm helping this person. I mean, they don't know it, and I don't know it, but at least inside, I feel like I'm some accountability for them and myself on days that I need it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And the thing, too, is I need you guys to understand something. Rico is very active on social media. So the fact...
I try my best to be.
Yeah.
I try my best to be.
So when someone actually said that, that's actually a really big red flag, because you do post a lot. And it's really a lot of the content that you do post is a lot of the stuff that you actually live out day to day, which is the fitness, which is the rise and grind type shit. Of course. Whether it be the painting, whether it be the one-on-ones with your clients, and even yourself, the one-on-one with you. Yeah. That's the stuff that I can literally sit here and tell you can count on him to make sure that he's on his shit. Even like how he said, sometimes he might have those days. Everybody has those days. But like he said, sometimes you might have that one person that keeps you accountable even when you least expect it, or really from the person you least expect it from.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes it's a complete stranger, man. It's a complete stranger. Like, I've been following you for years, and I'm like, I don't know how I missed you, or like, thank you for the support now. Because like, even people, family, friends, like, they see what you're doing and they support it, but sometimes they don't know how to support you. And sometimes they don't know how to be there for you. They kind of just see you doing things, you know? So, you know, having a support system aside from your family and friends and outside people definitely makes a big impact on how you can, you know, continue progressing. Because, you know, like anyone, we all have our good days. We all have our bad days. And sometimes we just need a little pick-me-up, you know?
Another thing, too, for everyone that's trying to get into fitness, I'm just going to mention this really quick, because I know a lot of people get discouraged and they're like, oh, well, I don't want people seeing me out there struggling or whatever.
Yeah, or seeing the workout's hard for me.
Yeah, sometimes the workout's hard for you. Remember, all right, everyone, even you as a person, love to watch the progression. Because in anything, whether it be a movie, your favorite reality show, there is progression in
and
those
you
people.
Want to see the end.
Exactly.
You want to see the end result.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you see it, because like it's funny because when I tell people that stuff, I'm like, look, man, like at the end of the day, don't worry about what anybody says. Don't worry about this. And then they're like, oh no, but it's like, you know, what if someone sees me and they like record me and I'm funny and I end up on the air? I'm like, bro, it's okay. Like, it's all right, bro. As long as you're trying and you're doing the right intentions and you're doing all that stuff, you can do that. Now, another thing that I was going to mention to you, bro. Now, obviously that it is the new year, right? You get a lot of those new year, new me's. You get a lot of those, I'm going to hop in the gym, all that stuff. Have you yourself personally, when you get clients, what is the average, I guess you can say, clientele based off of percentage that you can give me, like a random percent? Doesn't have to be accurate, but like a random percent that you would guess that when you get a client from January, how far do they normally last when that new year, new me? Like, I don't mean that as in like you as a trainer are failures or anything like that. No, I just mean it because obviously the New Year's always brings in the gym.
Every gym, people. Private gym, commercial gym, any gym in the world, it's always popping.
So what would you say, like on average, like from let's just say a group of 10, how many do you think really, really stick it out that you would say?
Honestly, I would say it's like a pretty low percentage. It's about like maybe 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
And the people that will take it seriously will be those 2 or 3, and they'll constantly want to progress, constantly consistent. You know, not each client, every client is different. Everyone comes in for a different reason. Some are going through breakups, some are going through divorces, some are looking to get married and they want to get in better shape. They want to fit into their dress, they want to have confidence. Some guys are looking to lose weight. Women want to tone up. What's it called? Like they have a post baby. So post baby, they're looking to tone up and things like that. I mean, each client varies, and their mentality, you know, and how they approach it and how they want to change their situation. A lot of the times, you know, it's discouraging because they want to hear like fast change. Like, I need this in 3 months, and I'm like, sometimes unfortunately you have to talk them into it because you have to see where their mentality is. If you tell them, look, I can't do this for you in 3 months, instant shutdown, they lose interest, their dreams are crushed, and they have no hope to continue working because they set this expectation so high for themselves and they expect it so fast. So I'll tell them, look, it's going to be more of a 3 to 6 month progress, but by 6 months you can definitely see progression, and you know, you'll feel better. Maybe you won't look better, but you will feel better. Moving your body, you're going to lose some pounds, things like that. I never really try to pay attention to the scale going into the first 2 months because that client is producing muscle and losing fat at the same time. Yeah, it goes up and down. They may weigh 155, but if they just lost 5 pounds of muscle, properly had the right nutrient meal plan, they're going to gain 2 to 3 pounds of muscle back. So be like, why am I still at 153? Like, I only lost 2 pounds. I've been training for 2 months, and they really don't notice how the scale works sometimes. And it's discouraging to put effort in and train and work hard every day and put months in and look back and the scale doesn't change. Because visually, we want to see it right then, you know? We don't have that, I don't know what to say.
It's that instant gratification of shit.
There we go. The perfect word. Instant gratification for it.
Thank you. I looked it up in the dictionary one time because I read it and I was like, what the fuck does that mean, bro? Let me look that up real fast.
Thank you for that. You know, everybody wants that instant gratification, and I could say everyone does. From starting anything, a business, a job, whatever. You know, you want to feel like you're doing your best and you want to see instant progress. You know, when you get a job, a new job, you're like, wow, my first paycheck, you know, or when you get a raise, you know, there's expectation there. So I try to stay with them and comfort them as much as possible. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not a magician. I can't pull a rabbit out of a hat and make you fit, and I can't control what you put in your mouth.
Correct. And
so if you don't want to follow the diet, when you're with me, okay, you're drinking your water, you're training, you're moving your body, you're doing all these right things. But when you leave me, you're going outside, you're missing meals, you're not as consistent, you're not drinking water. And there's a big, you know, I would say like, it's like a puzzle. You have to put all the pieces together to see the full image, you know, and people start like, you know, putting a few pieces and they're just like trying to fit any piece anywhere. But really you have to kind of let your body adjust and adapt to everything you're doing, because when you're eating fast foods, oils and seed oils and all those things, your body has a hard time digesting that. So now cutting all those fats, oils, when your lymphatic cells are clogged and you have a lot of fat buildup, it's hard to digest high amounts of protein. So they expect like, oh, I'm just gonna make results and eat protein and no carbohydrates. Like, there's a very nutrient, you know, efficient way to lose weight and gain weight, and making sure your body's properly getting vitamins and nutrients and everything you need from your foods, because you're transitioning from a lifestyle of fast food to a lifestyle of whole foods. And, you know, sometimes people are like, I'm eating this and I'm eating salads and I'm eating salads and I'm not losing weight. But so much goes into building yourself up. You know, it's like baby steps going up the pyramid. So I would say it's about 3 to 4 clients that actually stay put and give it their all throughout the whole time being. And then 6 months, they're not where they want to be, but they've seen the changes. So now they know what it takes. And they're like, okay, Now another 6 months, I can better this. And then their expectation slowly starts to go down because they're falling in love with the process of moving every day, training every day, having a routine, wake up, work, gym, wake up, work, gym. That gives your body endorphins, gives you a high, makes you feel good, you know? So they slowly start to lose that, okay, I need this right now, and I'm having fun with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the one thing, too, that I was going to mention to you right now that you were talking about the whole seed oils and everything like that. I'm going to tell you guys, all right? It doesn't look like it because I'm wearing black right now. But, you know, black hides all everything. But I personally myself have been on a fucking fast food binge, bro, for the past 2 months. Because I've been just grinding it out, doing what I had to do. Like I said, life does get in the way, but that's me putting that as an excuse, knowing damn well I should be, but I low-key be sitting on my phone like, I'll do it later, you know? Like
food near me.
Yeah, food near me type shit. So the thing too is, like, for those of you that don't know, I drive a semi, so I'm constantly always on the road. I do night shifts, so it makes it even worse for me because the only things that are normally open are fast food. But that's no excuse. I can still pack lunch. I can still do everything else like that. Now, given the fact that I've been on that binge for about 2 months, I'm going to tell you right now, bro, I feel like complete dog shit. And I know why, because of all the foods and everything else that I've been putting into my body. So when you were talking about that, how, when we were talking about the foods and like what you're putting into your body and what certain foods do to you and stuff like that, I know, bro, I've been feeling it. Like, I'm no bullshit aside, I've been more gassier than normal because of all that food, bro. Yeah. I've not been sleeping well because of everything that I've been eating.
Heartburn,
panic attacks because of the carbonation of the sodas and stuff like that. Like everything in general, bro. Like I notice it.
It's good that you can identify that,
though,
from
literally.
Clean eating to bad eating and how your body responds to it, because right now your body's responding to it, but over time it will adjust to it, and then you won't have those things no more. You know, so that's another thing. Like for me, like this past year, moving and transitioning, a little part of me moving. So my mom was diagnosed with cancer. You
Sorry
know,
to hear that, pal.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, it's life, unfortunately, as to call it. But she's doing better now. She went through a few rounds of chemo, and she's moving and grooving and feeling a lot better. But like my mom got sick. My father has diabetes, and like growing up in life, it was always like eat these fast foods, like we spoke last time. You know, Mexican household traditional meals. But like seeing my parents get older and seeing their health slowly diminish, like it pushes me even more to take care of myself, because I'm like, wow, my parents are approaching their 50s, and me and my brother are 20s, and my sister's my 20s, and like my parents are getting older, and their life's getting shorter, and health plays a big key role to that, and how they take care of themselves and how they manage their diet and drinking and things like that. You know, my father now, like, you know, having to take pills every day, being on insulin, things like that. Him being a truck driver too, that complicates his life.
Yeah, it does.
And how he can drive, being on medication. So it's like seeing that inspires me more and more every day to tell myself, like, I have to take care of myself for myself and for my family.
Yeah.
You know, let alone my son and what the future holds for me. But health goes so far, because you can't make money if you're dead, and you can't make money if you're laying in the hospital bed.
That's true.
Sometimes we need things to kind of open our eyes to make us feel like, okay, we need a change. But even then, change is so hard. It's like, how do we do this? I don't even want to. Yeah. I'm so used to this already.
The starting process too is the one that a lot of people kind of get stuck on. Like, where do I start, or what do I do? Honestly, the first thing you got to do is just start.
Honestly,
that's the easiest thing you can do, is just start. Even though it may seem like it's a mile away or very, very far in the distance, like as long as you're starting and you're making that effort, I think that's what it is. Because like I said, I'm the type of individual that would normally go in between. I would enjoy myself on the weekends, enjoy some fast food, but still enjoy a good home cooked meal. I love me fucking home cooked meals. But either way, like, depending on what you eat at home, it still would be bad for you. Of course. Home cooked meal is better than outside, 100%.
Aside from health, like, people get started working out for like so many different reasons. Like, it can be used in so many different therapeutic ways. Like, you know, stress relief, weight loss. If your mind is busy, if you're happy, you're sad. Like, for me personally, man, when I started working out, I was about 14 years old. Man, the topic kind of gets me a little emotional, but when I started working out, my parents were going through a separation. They're going through a divorce. You know, after being together 23 years, seeing them together my whole life, seeing everything kind of like break down into shambles, kind of put like anger in me. You know, I was really mad. I was getting in fights at school. I just wasn't myself, you know, and like when I found working out and training, it really helped me, you know, release that tension, release that anger, because the weight is heavy. It's pushing down on you slowly. Each second, you're counting each rep, the tension, the time is getting heavier, and then you push up. Like, there's relief in that for me. And like when I found that, it was like therapy. And I remember days I used to cry, I used to be frustrated, and I wasn't strong and I wasn't fit. I was a fat, chubby kid, But I would just work out in such anger, and I would cry and cry, and no one knew I was crying in the gym because I was sweating so much. And like for me emotionally, it wasn't even to get bigger or to get stronger. It was just making me feel good at the time. You know, so as I got older and started seeing the changes, I started seeing my body change to it. And, you know, it became more of like a stress relief than a physical appearance image. But once the physical and, you know, the changes started to happen, it kind of changes your mentality and how you take things, how you see things. And like for me, like running and working out became an escape for me. Like I felt free. I can get away. You know, no one knows how I'm feeling. Only I know how I'm feeling, and only I can control how I'm feeling. You know, and by the time the workout's done, like there's no tension. There's no anger. Like, okay, the problem's there. It's still there, but you feel relief from it, you know? And like I could say during the time that I was feeling pretty depressed, like I didn't work out. And I look back on the days I was like, man, why do I feel like this? Why can't I get going? Why can't I this? Why can't I that? You know, it was just really the mentality I had. And you know what? It's not really about being muscular or building muscle. It's more about moving my body, keeping my brain busy, and not allowing me to dwell on certain situations. Before you know it, it's kind of an escape for you to have peace with yourself, because anger, frustration, grudges, all those things can take a toll on you internally. And my parents didn't know how I was feeling. They didn't know how emotionally damaged I felt. Sorry, like I said, kind of gets me a little emotional.
All right, take your time.
Like, you know, you don't know how someone's feeling unless they tell you, you know. Being in the gym, let alone, like, you see so many people, hundreds of people, headphones on, hoodie on. Some people are smiling, some people are laughing, some people are serious. Everyone's going through something, and we're all trying to work through it day by day, whether it's a workout, a job, or even chasing a dream. Like, we're all trying to get through it, you know. And I feel like working out can kind of help you see the positive side of things, because, I mean, unfortunately, like, we all want an escape, you know, and that goes to the fact of me leading to being sober and going, you know, 2 years without alcohol already. Like, I would get depressed. Like recently this past year, like when I was depressed, I was like, man, I just want to drink. I don't want to feel this. I don't want that. And like even getting that thought, like, drink this away. Why do I want to drink this away? Trying to understand those emotions, you know, because I was like, I don't even like to drink. I don't even want to drink, but I feel so low right now. I want to. You know what? I need to go run. I need to shake that thought. I need to run. Take that bad habit, replace it with a good habit. Although maybe drinking at that time would have gave me temporary relief, whatever, I felt, you know, a lot better and a lot more clear mentally after going for that run than picking up that bottle.
That's good.
And making those kind of decisions really helped me feel things, because I feel like every day in typical society, everywhere in the U.S., everyone is slowly masking something. We all feel something. Some people drink, some people smoke, some people use drugs. You know, LA being full of homeless people, like I wonder all the time, like everyone goes through something, you know, let alone could working out, could going for a run have changed this person's life, change how they feel, you know, because we all get lost. And sometimes when you kind of slip into those dark shadows, it's hard to pull yourself out. It gets hard to pull yourself out. Yeah. And sometimes we don't know what to do. People get hooked on drugs, alcohol, things like that. But if you can use working out as a substitute, you know, and get as addicted and get as high as you feel doing all those other substances, I feel like why not give it a shot? Why not try it? You know? And I didn't really realize that, man. Like I said, recently I kind of started reflecting, like when I started working out so young, how it changed as I got older, into why I work out now. You know, so I feel like moving your body is important. It's a paycheck. The same way you go to work and you put in your 40 hours, there's an expectation. That check is going to look a certain way. If you go to the gym and you put your hour in every day, on Friday, that paycheck to yourself is how you feel initially, right? Mm-hmm. You have that breakfast, you have that brunch with your friends, you don't feel as guilty, you know, and it's like a reward. So I feel like incorporating training and working out, even moving your body, should be a task that you see as your job, and you should take as serious as your job, you know?
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I was going to ask you, as far as for the whole, like taking it serious aspect of things, you know, obviously you it's a cliche, but it's like you get what you put in.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be upset at the results that you know, of the work that you didn't put in. So like in that vice versa, hopefully I didn't botch that. I feel like I botched that shit. But anyway, you know what I mean. You put in the work, you get the results, all that shit.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah. But the thing that gets me with a lot of people is that they're, like how you had said, like all of the depression, all of the people that go down that rabbit hole and stuff like that. I honestly feel like if those individuals had that person like you, let's just say like an individual like yourself that could have either said something, motivated them, and said, "Yo, let's just go for a run." I honestly think a lot of people
could make a change.
They could make that change, especially when I think of all the homeless people. How you brought that up, I literally sit there and I think about that sometimes. I'm like, bro, there's so many pills that everybody gets nowadays to block that, to temporarily make you feel a different type of way, that leads into the substance abuse and all that other
different
stuff.
Things.
And I think
self-medicating.
Like you're doing that, and you have a doctor or whoever is prescribing something to you or giving something to you, and you found that easy way out.
Yeah.
And as I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the easy way is never the best way.
Never.
It may be good in the short term, but in the long term, it's not gonna benefit you.
Someone's told me this before. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. And I've heard it somewhere else before too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but after hearing that, man, and a few other sayings, even from my father, man, he would tell me like, the world is backwards, son. You want this, you're gonna get that because you want this, or certain things, vice versa. And then I didn't realize until I got older, man. And I was like, man, my dad's so right. The world is backwards. Like, we got a good job. We're working 40 hours a week. We're so happy. We're blessed. Then the overtime kicks in. Now we're working too much. Now we're tired. Now we're not resting. Now we're all these things. And we have this other person next door that's working a half part-time job, and they got a full family to feed. And they're the only one expecting to bring income into that house, and they're only getting 22 hours. And they're like, fuck, I would kill for 40 hours a week. I would kill for 60 hours. And we don't appreciate the value of what we get and how we get and receive those things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the best way to put it into is like business. The business aspect of things, like, okay, the Diamond Supply Co., right?
Yeah.
The Diamond. Okay, I had no idea he had started in 1998.
Wow.
All right.
That's some time.
And it really popped off in like 2006 to 2000,
correct.
Maybe 12 or somewhere around there had popped off. So it just shows you, like, in anything, you have to be consistent and you have to put in the work. You have to do the thing that you hate the most, like you love it, right? Of
course.
I think I seen Mike Tyson say that or something like that. Like, and it literally goes with everything, not just fitness, but with life in general.
Yeah.
It's if you apply that to your life, everything else will fall into place, because nothing you want comes easy, bro, at all whatsoever, whether it be the fitness, whether it be that dream car, whether it be the dream podcast, whatever it
takes
is.
work ethic.
Takes time, takes work, and you have to be willing to do the most selfish thing, and that's sacrificing everything.
Your time, everything. I wanted to touch back on what you said, man, like being that person, like even that, man, like thinking of it now, like I can't understand why, but it gets me emotional. Like I wish I could be there for everybody.
Oh,
because there was the biggest time in my life, man, where like I was like, man, I wish I had someone like me for me when I was trying to do this, because I needed that. But slowly becoming that for other people gave me that same high. Like, wow, this person believes in himself. Well, I believe too. I think I can keep going. Because I mean, in reality, everybody needs somebody. Whether it's your dog, your mom, your brother, your dad, your sister, everybody needs somebody. And like from transitioning my life from painting and having a separate business to completely committing to fitness, it was for that reason, like wanting to be that person for someone, because we all need it. And I remember how bad I needed it. And I was like, man, if there's anyone out there that ever feels how I feel, I hope they come across my path and I can meet them and get to where they're going. Because it's hard to do things on your own. It's truly hard. So if I could be that support person, if I can be that person you can go to for advice and make any type of decision to steer you in the direction to better your life, I'd love to help you, because I remember how much I needed that help.
And I'll tell you this, bro, though, that was beautifully said, because the thing is, now with social media,
it's different, man.
It's so different, but it's also the one thing that I wanted to touch base on was that exactly how you had said. You had said that you want to be that person for someone. It kind of reminded me of, for example, like me, right? I see certain individuals and I know certain individuals' lives and stuff like that. And I notice whenever an individual posts something on their story, even if it's like the smallest, dumbest thing, or for example, let's just say you see someone that you haven't seen in a while that they posted them running, right? Yeah. You want to give them that encouragement because you want them to do better, even if it's for a selfish reason or whatever the case may be. Like, you want them to be better for themselves. And even if someone bought like a car, even if it's not even the nicest car, you always want to make sure it's a nice compliment and give them that little thing, because for them it's a big accomplishment. For something that you may seem like, oh, okay, I could get that, whatever, or I could do that. Like, that small little thing for them may be a big accomplishment. Those baby steps that they're taking into doing that. And what's it called? Like, for example, like you, when you go on running, sometimes even a fucking emoji or whatever is a little motivational whenever you get that little motivation, like a fire emoji or whatever, a smirk or a heart emoji. Some girl sends you.
And you'd be surprised, man. Like, at times that makes me feel good. Like, I wake up and I run in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and people like the story. I'm like, wow, people are really watching.
And it doesn't cost them anything.
They're watching me. So. They're watching me and what I'm doing. And then, like, a day or two later, I'll see them up at 5 a.m. posting running. And I'm like, you don't run. But they're doing it. And seeing it is like, wow. It's truly like, it's truly amazing. Like, you never really think or get in thought of how you inspire someone. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be an outfit, something in the street, you see someone's outfit, you're like, wow, like, I would like to dress like that, or I would like to look like that, or their appearance, however. Even how you carry yourself, like, you'd be surprised in different ways and how you can inspire someone,
The thing, too, that I was going to tell you right now that you had mentioned the whole inspiring and everything like that, it's true. There's even people that I follow, whether it be fitness-based or whether it be career-based or whatever the case may be. The one thing that I will tell you, bro, is I don't have an envious bone in my body. I have that bone of like,
support.
Fuck, I want to do that too. I want to be like that. Like, I see that and I'm like a goal. For example, like yourself, right? You have a good physique, fucking looks amazing. Whenever you're doing your flexing, you're doing your little videos and stuff like that. I see that sometimes, bro. I'll be eating whatever I mean. I'm like, all right. I see you, dog. I see you. And I'm just like, I'm going to get that. Don't trip. I'm going to get that. And then I'll be like, damn, I got to start, though. Like, and it does start that little, like, conversation in your head. So if it does it to me, I know it does it to other people. So even following those type of individuals, like, it's a good thing. Even if, the one thing I do want you guys to remember, too, is, like, anyone watching is don't follow someone and don't look at someone and be envious. Always look at that and be like, how can I do that?
Positive.
Yeah, be positive, because if you're going to look at it as like envious, or if you're that type of individual that goes through and puts comments that shouldn't be there, or be that negative type of person, you really need to do some self-reflecting, because individuals like him, imagine I'm fucking struggling. Individual like himself, a person that when you go on his Instagram and you see his physique, you see all his hard work, he's literally being vulnerable enough to let you know that even he himself, a person that you may think has no issues, no problem whatsoever, has gone through that. So I didn't see him in somebody's fucking comments talking mad shit, saying like, oh, like whatever the fuck it may be, whatever, like, oh, you have a badass car, oh, must be daddy's money, whatever. At the end of the day, whatever it may be,
it's all about supporting.
It's all about supporting each other, because at the end of the day, bro, this world is fucking big, but with the social media, it makes it small. It doesn't matter if you're in fucking Nigeria or Germany. It doesn't matter. You can speak to anyone around the world. Then why talk to them in a negative way? Be as positive as you can. Support each other, because I'm a big fucking believer in karma.
Man, dude, let me tell you.
I'm a fucking big believer.
You were just on it, bro. And like, the same way you go high, you go real low, man. And the same way I've been high, I've been real low, and I've been there. And having to start over again in those processes and those steps, like, it's discouraging sometimes. Having things and not having things. Like, man, since we're on the topic, like, I'll be vulnerable. Like, I mean, this past year, like, I was going through some struggles, went through, quite some struggles, man. I went a whole year carless, man. And I don't think anyone on social media knew this, but I was walking, running to the store to get groceries, riding my bike, like, doing everything I could just to stay moving. And, even people in my area, friends, that would see me like, hey, man, I saw you, like, walking to the store. Like, yeah, man, you saw me walking, bro. Like, it's what it is. And I feel like with social media now, like, there's this big image that everything has to be perfect. And everyone has to show their perfect life and how it is. And that's okay, too. But where's the realism? Like, social media is really just what you want to see. And I could say that for me and everyone, like, you only see what we allow you to see. But for the most part, I try to go in depths and be as vulnerable as possible with everyone, because we all go through it, little highs, little lows, and just keeping ourselves humble and knowing that if you got it once, you can get it again. And if you lost it before, you can lose it again. And it's all a game of, staying consistent and staying true to yourself. So, karma is real, man. And, for being said, even now, like, you were talking about the topic of influences, like, what is influencing now? Like, a lot of these influencers that I see, what are they really influencing, right? Like, I just see partying and drinking and jumping off the stage and all this good times. Yeah, but what is that influencing our younger crowd, our younger generation to come for? Like, we should be influencing run clubs, education, real estate, things that are going to help this next up and coming generation. Because taxes, everything really, bro, because a lot of these influencers are posting the fast life, the good life, the nice cars, the bottle club and all this stuff. But where's the realism? Because remember, you're painting a picture to your your viewers, and they're thinking, wow, this life's so made out, these nice clothes and this and that, but they don't have the accessibility or the tools they had to get there. So now this person has this vision in their head of what influencing is and being successful and drinking and popping bottles and going to the club and doing all these things and hosting these events and getting them together. Like, I think that's great and all, but how are you really influencing? Are you influencing
in a positive or a negative way?
And what is your topic on influence? Like, what are you trying to get these people that are watching you to do? Drink more, party more, hang out more? You know, when you could be, you know, giving knowledge on so much more of what they really need, how to make a plan, how to make a routine for themselves. Do you wake up and make your bed? You know, do you take 10 to 15 minutes to read a book? You know, take a walk? Do you do anything in a positive impact? Because half the influencers I see, they're just out eating nice, dressing nice, partying, cars, and this lifestyle. Okay, but you're influencing and you're posting your life and yourself, but how can you show the people that they can get to where you are without doing, I wouldn't say negative things, but not all the same things? Because the younger generation, what is it?
I think the thing too that I'm sorry to cut you off, but the one thing that I wanted to tell you too is that, for example, like Tyrese, the singer, right? The actor, the Tyrese, the one that came on Fast and Furious. He's a perfect example of an individual that decided to went vulnerable, like he was vulnerable in a situation that with the separation, everything like that. But the internet clowned on him, bro.
They did.
You see what I'm saying? And I think, like, I know a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, fuck that. I'm never going to allow myself to be vulnerable because if they're doing it to him, they might get to do it to me and stuff like that. But you have to understand something. Even though there are individuals that are a-holes that are clowning on this individual, there are other people that are looking at that and being like, I understand that, I respect that, and I feel that. So even though, yes, there might be some dickheads out there, you also are influencing and communicating with someone else that really needs it. Even though people are laughing at whatever that may be. And like how you said, the whole influencing thing, it's true, bro. A lot of influencers now, they don't influence the good things. They influence the bad things. I'll give you a perfect example that I wouldn't even call them influencers. They're more streamers. But the streamers are the individuals nowadays that I have a little bit more of a respect for, on the aspect of like, every day they're live, they're being themselves. You know what I mean? You can't hide that. You're on live. What you're doing. Exactly. You're being you. So right now, I have a little bit of a higher respect for those type of individuals, the live streamers, I guess you can say. I wouldn't necessarily call them so much influencers, but they do influence to a certain degree.
Yeah, of course.
But whether they're influencing good or bad, I'm not 100% sure. I can't fucking put everything down on a book for you. But what I can say is that I do have a little bit more respect for those type of individuals that do everything live because it is actually them. So if you see someone being a complete dickhead on camera, they're being a complete dickhead. Whether it be a character or not, you're influencing that character, and that character is going to feed to someone else. So you're right on that aspect. A lot of influencers nowadays, they don't really influence, they more show off, which to some degree, I completely understand it because you worked hard for it, you're showing it off or whatever, but don't forget that you are an influencer, you are a type of individual that
someone is watching.
Exactly.
Someone
that is watching, and you need to push that aspect of like, you need to do better, but in even if it's slow, small increments of like, hey guys, how'd you guys do today? Did you guys do good? Like, for example, bro, I know this sounds corny as fuck, but you remember the Blues Clues guy? Do you remember when he came back and he's like, hey, how are you guys doing? And then everyone's in the fucking comments all fucking like, bro, what the fuck? I'm doing horrible, you know, like commenting. But when you go through those comments, you literally get to see people's real emotions and their vulnerability.
They talk about it.
Even if it's comedy, like they're saying, oh, bro, like I lost my car or whatever, or I lost my dog or whatever the fuck may be, my mom, whatever, this and that. It doesn't matter. They put that, and if you went through those comments, it was the vulnerable aspect, but it was someone that a lot of people that were in a certain age group looked up to and said, bro, you came back at the fucking best time because I'm going through it right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the type of influence I think a lot of people need, that influence where people can really communicate and have that one-on-one, not necessarily in person, but that communication aspect of like, yo, how is everybody doing? Can we do better? How can we do better? The influences of run clubs, of fitness, of learning how to do your taxes. That's a big one for me. And then, learning how real estate works, learning how business actually works and all that.
How to become an entrepreneur. Like, there's so many key factors. And back to like the touching on influencing, man, what kind of reflected to me on this is so like, as you guys know, I do like to enjoy some herb. Marijuana is now legal in the state of California. So typically before I run, I'll smoke. I'll take about a puff or two. I wouldn't say I like to get high or feel high, just enough to kind of take the edge off, clear my mind, and kind of give me a body high to where I can start running and I won't feel as much pain in my knees or my ankles or my shins, so forth. So that's why, I take a small dose and I go for a run, and someone actually call me out on it. Like, dude, like, you influence running in this healthy lifestyle. Like, how do you smoke before you work out? And then I'm like, he's like, could you imagine the people you influence that don't smoke to start smoking? And I'm like, fuck, I got to do self-reflecting now.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, do I stop posting it? Do I keep posting it? People tell me like, hey, I've never smoked and ran before. I do smoke after my run, never smoked before. I never smoked before a workout. I want to try. And then I'm like,
you're like, fuck.
And I'm like, fuck, yeah, it's great. I love it. I love it, And I'm like, to each their own. How do I influence this? And how do I go about this? How do I communicate to this person? Like, this is how I use, my pre-workout, whatever, to, complement my workout or make me feel better. I don't recommend you do it. By all means, try it on your own. And if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't work for everyone, So that guy telling me, and I was just like, man, run before a workout. And so like, I had no response. I literally sat there looking at my phone for like 5 minutes, and I was like, what could I say to this guy that is like, he's really right. I'm influencing people to want to smoke before they work out. Well, what should I tell him? And we're like, look, man, this is what works for me. By all means, am I not telling you you should go smoke and work out? What I do, don't do as I do as I say. Do what's best for you, okay? But it kind of turns back to me in the same way, because I'm like, okay, don't drink. And they're like, well, drinking is what's best for me,
Yeah, you see it, then
so it kind of gives me that push-pull effect. It's like, if I smoke, I act crazy or I go to sleep. So I'm in between those barriers, not in a bad way, but I feel like marijuana is so recreational, and how you use it. Like, they say medication for a reason, because there's a certain dose you can take that will give you a certain effect. Now, if you overdose on that effect, same as alcohol, overconsumption, what happens? You black out, you this, so many different things. Alcohol poisoning, I could say very similar things to marijuana. Know what I say, I don't even know how to say it. Like, you shouldn't smoke and run, but you should try to smoke and run.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get that 100%.
I'm in a place, and then this guy's just like, he's been living in my head, man, these past months. So for the past
rent free.
If you guys have seen
how
me,
dare you?
If you guys have seen me, I'll be on my social media, and I'm a little uneasy to smoke before my workout or smoke before I run again. But then I'm part of that. It's like, well, that's me.
Yeah.
And I'm influencing the community in one way or another. So
yeah, but then the thing too is like, you can't hide your real self, because you're
that
being your
too,
honest
you know what I'm
self.
saying?
And
And
at the same time, it's like, fuck, even if I'm being honest.
Aside from everything, like, man, I've been smoking for 10 years. Like, if I'm being honest, I started smoking during the time that my parents were going through all that stuff. I told a friend at school about it, this and that, and being young, he had a resource. He found some weed here, man, try this, all your problems will go away, da-da-da. Sure enough, like, I forgot about everything. I'm hungry, I'm laughing, I'm munching, watching a movie. So it was
your escape.
It was my escape when I was younger, and I started at a very, very young age due to, exposure from friends. Not their fault, my own fault for peer pressure. But just, the way that I was using to when I was younger to compare to how I'm using now as I'm older is completely different, because I'm not using it as a Band-Aid. I'm not trying to self-medicate and get over this feeling. Now I'm just using it to help me clear my mind, focus a little more, and maybe even feel a better workout, better blood circulation. It increases so many different things, good and bad. But for me, like, that's what works for me, unfortunately. And I've tried workouts before and runs before without it, and there is a slight difference, which makes me feel the same way. Like, I'm being vulnerable now. Like, am I masking myself with this substance? Am I really feeling everything in life like I'm supposed to? So I have my days where I'm like, man, I feel like I'm just as bad, But like you said, again, I'm like, as real as I am myself. Like, this is something I've been doing for years with working out, let alone it be together. Working out and smoking, no, it's not the greatest combination, but
yeah, I mean, it does work for you. Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. I believe his name is Bert Kreischer, right? The guy from Two Bears or something like that, Martin. I believe his name is. So he himself, he's a bigger dude. He's a little bit a heftier dude, right? Yeah. And he went to go do some blood work. He went to go do all kinds of stuff, and the doctor expected him to be a certain type of like diabetic or have high cholesterol or whatever the case may be.
Certain assumptions already.
Certain something that a certain individual like him's body size should have, and he didn't.
Wow.
And the doctor was like, "What is your secret? Because you drink a lot of beer, and my assumption is X, Y, and Z." He's like, oh, I work out a lot, I run a lot, I do X, Y, and Z. So I balance myself. So like I'll work out to a certain degree so I can have a certain consumption. If I know I'm gonna drink this, then I have to make sure I do this in that aspect. And I was like, damn, that's actually kind of crazy because this individual loves drinking.
Yeah.
But he knows if at the record of drinking that he's doing,
be
the
detrimental to his life.
Yeah, it's going to damage him in a certain way, and he won't be able to enjoy that anymore, the thing that he loves the most. So he realized, okay, well, if I balance out my life, work out, do what I got to do, and then have that, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And the doctor first was like, you're fucking nuts, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept it up, and the doctor's like, dude, I don't know how you're doing it, but this is
maintaining.
Yeah, like this is weird. He's like, I'm not used to this. Like you're telling me you're drinking X amount, but you're not showing it on your records, because you're doing what you're doing. And so, like I said, it may not work for everybody, you know, but it works for him in that aspect, yeah.
And it's crazy, like even coming from like the general construction and labor world, man. Like you got masonry guys, you got carpenters, you got so many different hardworking men from Mexico,
superhero strength,
and from the soil. You know what I'm saying? And like, dude, they'll get the job done. 8-hour, 10-hour shift, dude, off a 4-pack, off a 6-pack, and you'd be surprised the mansions and the homes they're building, like.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid, under the influence, you know, bro, and like in reality, like you said, like what works for some people doesn't work for you. What works for everyone doesn't work for them, you know. But it's like, it just goes to show, like you really have to make sure you take that time and sit down and get yourself in that box where you're checking all your own boxes. Mm-hmm. This is what works for me. This is what doesn't. This is what does. This is what doesn't. This is out. This is out. Let me find 2 new things to substitute this. Let me help find a better, you know, alternative to this. For that, and kind of create those things and self-reflect on that.
Let me ask you a question. This is going to be a dietary question. Obviously you're not a nutritionist, okay? But as a fitness coach, when someone comes to you and they say, hey, I want to change the aspect of like me doing whatever it is to get better, do you automatically cut them cold turkey, or do you adjust to them to say, hey, what are you normally used to? Let's just say me, right? For right now, right? I've been eating fast food. Okay. I'll be honest with you, practically almost every other day. To be real. For the past 2 months, because like I said, I've been doing whatever the fuck it is what I'm doing, my excuse. And you notice that, would you automatically go ahead and say, all right, I'm gonna cut you cold turkey, or say, hey, you know what, we're gonna start off, let's just say I eat 5 times out of the week, out of the 7 days fast food, we're gonna cut you down to 3, and then we're gonna cut you down to 2, and then we're gonna cut you down to 1, until the point where it becomes like you don't really crave it.
I feel like starting, if you give a person a shortcut, they'll always expect it. You have to stop them right there. Okay. So like I even have my non-negotiable rules for my client. I'll read them out to you guys for a second. So a lot of them, when they sign up, they're like, oh, but I like to drink on the weekends, but I only drink occasionally, or I drink this and I drink that. I mean, drinking is drinking, regardless of the fact, like it's gonna affect your body, especially if you're trying to make changes, you know? So I tell them as soon as they sign up, like, look, these are my non-negotiable ground rules, okay? So drink at least 1 gallon of water daily. Mandatory. No cheat meals. Not one. If it's not in the diet, don't eat it. Simple as that. Okay. No drugs or alcohol or soda. Okay. Drugs, okay, varies. Marijuana is like, well, my clients like, oh, I like to smoke before bed. So I'm like, okay, that's, you know, I try to be somewhat lenient with that. The next one is measure all your meals. So protein to carbs to fats, all your sources of nutrients have to be measured. Okay. Because remember, you have to want to learn those new habits. So if you're sneaking out every day to Pollo Loco, are you taking the time to learn those habits?
True.
You know, so you have to instill that in them right there. Because 1 step turns to 5, and then it's like, okay, well, what are some healthy alternatives I can eat outside of my meal plan? And then it just becomes shortcut, you know, to doing the work, which is measuring your food, cooking your food, buying the right whole foods. Next one is don't skip a cardio session or a workout, 6 to 8 hours sleep a night, all communications weekly. And then check-ins, don't miss your check-ins. So, you know, if you have days, hey, I missed a meal today, or I didn't eat today, or I missed as many meals, whatever, you know, be in communication. And so kind of giving that strict put to my clients, a lot of them that find the crave for that routine, they like it. And the ones that don't are like, oh, no, I could tell after a few months they fall off, they're inconsistent. And they come like, well, why haven't I lost 20 pounds? Well, why haven't you followed the diet?
That's true. It does come to that whole.
So it sets that expectation of how they feel they're gonna change, and then I'm like, I can't pull the rabbit out the hat. Why don't you stop eating? You know.
That's true.
But it kind of goes both ways. So I mean, with clients, I mean, it's like if you want it, come get it. You know where to find it. If you need the support, you need the accountability, I'm here for you. You know, step 1 always leads to step 2. Step 2 leads to step 3. All you gotta do is take that first step.
Are you okay with let's just say your client says, hey, this is my meal plan. I'm gonna get it from like one of those
outside meal prep source. Yeah, of course. I always encourage them to work with a meal prep source because it'll make it more convenient for them.
Correct.
Pick up, drop off, throw it away. No dishes, no hassle, no dirty kitchen. Your meals in your bag. You take it to work. It's ready to go. Warm it up, bing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I always try to make it as easy as possible for them.
Okay. So for example, let me give you an example. Let's just say you have a client, right, that potentially is watching this right now. That's like, all right, I'm down to go with him. He seems like a cool guy. But he says, okay, I have this meal guy, and he has this certain amount of meals. I'm gonna send you the meals. Can you work with those meals to work with my plan?
We adjust the macro plan and adjust everything to that person to the T for what they need, from fats, carbs, proteins, even calories. And then as long as that person is making and serving your meals in portions, as instructed, you should get the same results depending on seasoning, salts, and flavors, sauces, and things like that. Mm-hmm. Remember, those are hidden calories, so you have to make sure everything is partially plain or just salted and peppered.
That's right.
But there's definitely ways to make it work.
Do you have I know this is around the topic of food. I've watched a couple videos recently. Obviously you're not a nutritionist, so I don't want anybody to come at you for anything like that. So have you ever had a discussion with anybody regarding like salts, different types of salts or anything like that?
Honestly, yeah. So this past year, man, I recently went full carnivore. So for the whole year, I was consuming
How was that?
0 to no carbohydrates, man. So I was really just, kind of steak, eggs, avocados, high fats. So my body responds fairly well to higher fats than higher carbs. So I usually have my carbs before I work out and after, just to fuel me up. But throughout the whole day, I'm pretty much fasted, running off proteins and fats. Let it be steak, eggs, sourdough bread if there is some type of carbohydrates, white rice, green beans, yogurts, blueberries, honey, pretty much everything you would see, say a lion would eat. When do you see a lion eat a cupcake?
Fuck.
Hardly ever. So
that got me thinking into when have I seen that?
So getting into it, like for me, it kind of became that. Like, a lion sustains this much muscle mass, this much weight, this much energy, and it feeds off just purely meat.
That's true.
Meat is rich in creatine, zinc. It promotes health for testosterone, has natural cholesterol. All these things are going to improve your body naturally, which they say is bad, overconsumption and of red meats. But I went a whole year eating it and I felt great. My energy is great, my strength. Yeah, of course there was some dips and little hiccups in certain areas
because you're learning.
Yeah, of course, and that turns to substituting carbohydrates and how your body, your brain, and even your blood uses carbohydrates. So making that change for me, man, was quite a challenge, but I found so much fun in it because the energy levels, and I felt the difference. As soon as I ate something that had gluten or a high amount of carbohydrates, dude, I was sleepy, bro, crashed out, energy down, insulin up. It was so it was so hard to maintain that diet and still feel like, okay, this is good for me. Yeah. But throughout the whole year, man, I slowly started transitioning back to other foods, whole foods, including carbs. But the past year going full carnivore, like I'm looking forward to doing it again this year. And I can say it really did help me lose a lot of stubborn fat that I had and build muscle in areas that I really needed to make improvements in.
So you would recommend it to people to at least give it a try?
Most of my clients, the first 3 months, I do put them on a light carnivore diet. They still consume carbohydrates just because I like to see how the body responds and adjusts. And everyone's body is different. Correct. Some people make fast changes, some people make slow changes, some people need a whole nother diet. But the first month is pretty much detox. 2 months is learning your proteins. Now that you got some of that fat, your body starts to introduce new proteins, higher proteins, less carbs, so your body can intake that and grow and produce muscle and keep your protein synthesis constantly producing and metabolizing fat. So by month 3, they're like, okay, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad, and then I start to make adjustments in their diet. But for the most part, most of my clients start off 2 to 3 months carnivore diet and detoxing, following that meal plan, man.
For sure, bro. I love that, man. I love hearing that you are adjusting to individuals and you're making sure that you're paying attention to not just your clients, because obviously they become family at some point.
They do.
You're like, at some point, everyone, you have to understand, even though they are clients,
you build those relationships, man, that become so personal. Like I have one of my clients, like he's been with me since day one. He did take off maybe for like 2 or 3 months. He's like, look, man, financial issues are kind of bad. I went through some time. Then I kept thinking about it, man. I was like, man, like, this guy can't work out. He can't move his body because he can't financially afford it. How can I help him help me help him? I was like, you know what? I'll just cut him in half. Okay, maybe I'm not going to be getting the money and the income that I need, but he has a work ethic. He has a determination, the dedication, and the drive. So maybe he's not paying me in value of cash, but his results and his work ethic are going to pay me forth to the next person and showing what I can do with someone that trusts me for their transformation, let alone their health, to really help them create a structured plan for themselves to make a change, you know. And getting a client that trusts me like that, he's about 8 months in, he's made some great improvements. He tells me all the time he feels better. Like for me, that goes a long way, because I mean, sometimes it's not always about the money. You're not going to get rich off one client. You're not going to get rich off one job, and you're not going to get rich off just one thing solely. It's going to be done over time. And I feel like understanding that, especially with the transition, I was like, man, well, if he can't pay my price, then I'm not going to train him. And that mentality, for me, that was like Los Angeles mentality. Stubborn, like stuck up, like this is my price, like really firm, rather than to working with people, because not everybody has money. And if they do have that little money they want to invest, they're coming to you because they feel like they can trust you and you can help them. So to shut them down because they can't afford it, for me, slowly started to open my eyes, like, I can't treat people like this. I got to work with them in any way I can so that they can work with me and I can help them get to where they're going. And that will show the next person they can do it too. Rather than to getting paid in cash value, I was taking a lot more physical and dedication and determination from my clients, because ultimately they're bringing me the next person. So I had to completely believe in them, trust them, and be like, okay, the cash value is not there, but the dedication is. And I'll take that as payment.
That's good karma right there, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, guys, I want to say this. First off, thank you to my boy Rico here for pulling up today. Again. It's your second time back, and I hope to see you more often, Pa. And again, guys, if you guys want to give him a follow, do me a favor. Hit everything down below. It'll be in the description, so you guys can give him a follow. Instagram, TikTok, whatever else is down there. I'm going to make sure I add it. Whatever, it's fitness and everything. So everything will be there. So don't think I didn't put anything down there. If you guys want to go ahead and slide in his DMs and request some work and stuff like that, as far as for advice, fitness, whether even if you're going through some shit and he might have some time to communicate with you on that, definitely slide in the DMs. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And with that being said, we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.